Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weisheit. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. You know, we always like to turn to our local leadership to get updates and find out what's happening in their respective areas. So glad to always welcome back into the program Superintendent Lafourche Parish School System, Jarod Martin. Jarod, thank you for joining us today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Maybe we can get a little bit of an update. I know you've had lots of activity, lots of work going on, but just kind of an overview of what's happening with the schools and where we are with them reopening, because that's the big focus here of late is the reopening.
It is. We're excited to announce that all of our schools are back up and running. And of course, when I say all of our schools are back up and running, I mean that all of our students are back in a school. This week, we welcome back our South Lafourche students. South Lafourche High School is going to school every other day. We've divided the alphabet up in half, and half the students go to school on one day and the other half on the following day. Golden Meadow Middle School is still being repaired, and those students are going to school at Golden Meadow Upper Elementary, and Golden Meadow Upper Elementary has combined with Golden Meadow Lower Elementary on their campus. And this past Wednesday, which would be yesterday, LaRose Cutoff Middle School was able to come back to school every day. So all of the South Lafourche students returned Monday, with the exception of LaRose Cutoff, which returned Wednesday. We had some work that had to be done at LCO over the weekend, and we weren't confident it would be done for the students' return on Monday. So we delayed the opening of that school by just a couple of days, but the building is now 100% complete. And, you know, I think that by the next time I'm able to come on the show, I'll be able to share some pictures of LaRose Cutoff Middle School specifically, because we've got some footage of the post-storm condition classrooms before remediation work is being done. And the building was a complete mess, just nearly looked like it was going to have to be demolished. And so to have it clean, to have it ready to go, and to have our students on campus yesterday, some 52 days after the storm, we're really excited, and we hope that the community is excited as well, because we're happy to provide the service that we provide.
Well, I got to tell you, Jarod, you and the team of people, because it's been volumes of teams and coordination, has been quite remarkable to watch over these last 50 some odd days. And so talk a little bit about what it's taken and the energy and effort that it's taken to get all of your students back in school, which is just a remarkable thing to say here today. So again, congratulations for that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, you know, the steps to do this are really pretty simple. But when you multiply it over that many campuses, it becomes very complicated, right? So you have a team of industrial hygienists that identify what areas that are needed to be remediated. And then we have a team of water remediation specialists that come into our campuses. They remove any areas that have been damaged by water. They set up dehumidifiers, and they protect areas. As you can see in this footage here, we're protecting books in the library and running dehumidified hot air into the buildings. Once we're able to stabilize the environment in the buildings, you begin to put back all of those materials that are required, whether it's drop ceiling, sheetrock. Again, what you're seeing right now is footage of South Lafourche High School classrooms, and the footage you see there of Ms. Jeremy in that classroom, that work is now already complete, and students are in those facilities right now. The rock has been hung, and the drop ceiling has been put in, and that's a picture of a completed lab right now. So we have had tremendous success partnering with our many contractors and getting the work done as quickly as possible so that we can get our kids back in school. After the last couple of years, we knew how important it was to get our kids back on campus and get them back to, you know, as normal as we can provide education in 2021.
Well, it's obviously been a rather monumental effort, and you're right, it's simple, but it's a lot of work. And coordinating that and managing that. And let's talk a little bit about the resiliency of the staff and or some of those teachers that have been so very involved in making sure that they're present in helping to get things going.
You know, our teachers and our custodians and our clerical workers, our food cafeteria service managers and workers, bus drivers, the whole team. Everybody was affected by the storm. And so you've got a population of employees and community members that have been infected, that have been impacted by the storm, that didn't have power for over a month, that in some cases still don't have internet and cable to their house, and that they're dealing with insurance adjusters and all of the mess that this storm caused. And they did not allow that to interfere with their calling to provide this service and to work for the students of Lafourche Parish. And so as I travel from school to school, I'm really amazed that you said the word resilience, and that's exactly what our teachers have shown. It's what our entire team has shown, the ability to put all of that stuff aside, get to work, and get back to normal. And I know we keep saying that over and over again, but it really is rather cathartic to get back to work, to get back to doing that thing that we do. And we have allowed our teachers to leave and meet with adjusters and manage their life without a whole lot of questions, because we're just happy to have everybody back. But what I hear as I walk around is that it's still going to be a long road to get everybody back to quote normal. We're going to have folks whose houses get completely totaled. We're going to have folks that are going to struggle financially because of insurance concerns. And so the long road ahead is going to be bumpy, but our folks have just been tremendously resilient.
We're talking a little bit about the resiliency of your team and your staff, and the kids are the ones that really get to benefit from that and all of the hard work. And, you mentioned all of those people that have been impacted from the storm. We all are dealing with this, on a day-to-day basis, and your team has the importance to make sure that they make it about the kids. And you made a comment about their calling, and that's truly what it is when you can put the kids above anything else. And we've had some pictures that we've shown a little bit. I want to go back to some of those shots over at South Lafourche, as this is a very historic week for welcoming students back over at South Lafourche and some of the things that y'all have been able to do. So let's talk a little bit about that. And I know y'all were using just a small percentage of the school initially, but y'all have had a lot of work done here recently.
That's correct. Now, the school is broken up into a couple sections. It's a school that was built in the late 60s, and then we had an addition that was built around the 2000 mark. So there's about 36 classrooms in what's the quote new section. That was the 2-story addition that was built around the early 2000s. That's the area that we're able to use today. There's a tremendous amount of school, maybe 60,000 square feet that's still unable to be used, but we're going to be opening that up over the next few months. So until we get the gymnasiums back up and running, and again, you don't have footage of this, I'm sure, but those gyms look like a skate park from the water damage. And so we're going to be working very hard to put those gyms back in place. And until all of that happens, it's very difficult to have all of the electives courses the way that we'd want to. But what we're able to get done immediately were the classrooms needed to have our core instruction back up and running. So as we transition from this opening of school to the opening of the entire school, we're going to be focusing on getting those gyms and those other auxiliary areas up and running.
Okay, and I know we've got some pictures here of just last couple of weeks. We got one particular shot that we kind of want to share with people, and it just echoes the importance of what y'all are able to do and what y'all are able to do. This was taken just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, right. So what you see is an area that's not ready for students at all. And what was done by Monday this week is that entire hall has been completely free of all equipment. The drop ceiling's been put in, the sheetrock has been replaced, the conditioned air is being pumped in, and it is ready to be inhabited. In fact, our kids are in it right now. So we're really happy about the work that's being done. We're optimistic about the future of Lafourche Parish and the future of that school.
Well, it's so very exciting, I tell you, and just all of the work that goes into doing that. I know, as we've kind of seen with houses that have had similar damage to that, it's just a lot of work that goes into it. Very precise work, but you guys have been very dedicated to stay with those teams to make sure that it's safe for the kids. And I know safety is the most important thing, as you talked about earlier with LCO, just letting them come back when it's safer to do that.
That's right. So we made the decision late last week when we saw the condition of LCO and that it was possible to have it done by Monday, but we really would feel more comfortable if we had a couple more days to make sure that not only is the building ready, but teachers need to have time to get their classrooms and their things prepared to accept students. You know, the life of a teacher, everybody really believes that they understand the life of a teacher because we all have had teachers and you see what they do in your presence. But the hardest part of being a teacher is what happens outside the student's presence, right? The preparing of lessons, the preparing of the physical classroom, and all of that preparation is what makes the time with those students very valuable. So we wanted to make sure teachers had time in their classrooms to get prepared, and that when we received students, it was seamless, it was smooth, and it was a good transition. And yesterday morning, we were able to do that. I was at LCO for its reopening, its grand reopening, and it went really well. The principals and the teachers and the entire team just did a great job.
I love it. You know, we've gotten some reports about the community really stepping up to really provide some help and donations for the schools. Tell us a little bit about that experience for you.
It's been just tremendous. I've got our communications person, Mr. Dean Guidry, who's been managing all of this, and you can see we've gotten gifts from a tremendous number of organizations that have partnered with us over the years. Of course, you see Senator Fazy, who graciously donated gift cards to the community. Yesterday, we received a donation of $33,000 from the Vermilion Parish School District. That's a gentleman from the organization Apple that brought us a $5,000 donation. And so we've been receiving a tremendous amount of community support. The athletic associations of both Central Lafourche and South Lafourche each received $100,000 donations.
Wow.
So it's been a tremendous outpouring of support to the community, both from within Lafourche Parish, but even throughout the nation. A school in North Carolina contacted me and had the desire to adopt a school and send money to the schools and the students of Lafourche Parish. So it's been tremendous, and we are happy to have the help and the support.
Wow, we appreciate it so very much. And again, that's Superintendent Jarod Martin with Lafourche Parish Schools, and we appreciate his time. We're going to take another short break. Don't go anywhere. A lot more Bayou time when we continue.